Hello, my name is Jimmy Knapp, and this is my Cultural Artifact Paper 2 presentation for Foundations of Theology and Culture with Dr. Sanders. The cultural artifact I chose was the pencil. The pencil started out with man's desire to express himself through a recorded means, starting as far back as cave art. When an individual picked up a charred branch or twig out of the fire and made a mark on a surface, that was their written expression. The modern pencil is actually a descendant of the Roman stylus, and Romans used a sharp metal rod to scrape into a piece of papyrus, which is a forerunner to today's paper. After the discovery of graphite in England in the 1500s, graphite became the desired medium of the pencil. Later on, it was discovered that graphite in powder could be crushed and mixed with a clay binder and cast into the shape that we would use inside the pencil rather than cutting them by hand. During the Middle Ages, wars with England and their neighbors really influenced whether or not the pencil was available to the neighboring countries. What does the pencil assume about the world? Well, first off, it assumes that we want pencils and that we want large quantities of them. They are mass produced in very large quantities. They are available in stores from your Walmart to your grocery store, all the way to your corner convenience store. It assumes that man has a desire to express himself in a medium that can be erased, that can be smudged and smeared. It expresses that we just want to communicate in itself. It assumes that there are large deposits of graphite and that this material is readily available, and we have the technology to mine or harvest it. It assumes that we have the material for the holder. Graphite itself is very brittle and cannot be used alone, so it's cased in a holder, traditionally wood. So it assumes that we have the material for those holders, whether it's wood or within the last 40 years, plastic has been used as well. It assumes that we have the technology to harvest and process and manufacture that wood holder. It assumes that there's a market for the manufacturing, distribution of the pencil itself, that we can ship it, that we have trade set up, that there are taxes and revenues that are generated by the pencil and the manufacturer of the pencil. It assumes the availability of economically affordable raw materials, the graphite and the wood especially, eraser material, the metal to bind the eraser to the wood. And those materials for both of those two portions of the pencil, again, we could do an entire study on those. We assume that we have the ability to mass produce the product, which requires machinery and skilled labor to operate the machinery and management to provide overwatch of that labor. That we have power, wind or solar or water or some kind of electromechanical power to operate that machinery. It also assumes that the consumer wants different types of medium, such as the graphite inside, or charcoal, or carbon, or colored pencils, grease pencils, watercolor pencils. It assumes that the consumer wants a variety of shapes, the most common being the hexagon, but also the round, the flat, the triangular, the oval pencil used by carpenters, and even bendable pencil shapes are available. It assumes that in writing there's a written alphabet and a way that we can write and communicate. It assumes that not only are wood pencils desirable, but also metal pencils and plastic pencils, mechanical pencils, and even custom pencils. Custom pencils themselves are available from a few cents apiece to a small fortune for a single pencil, which assumes that this product is of interest to many economical subgroups. What does it assume about how the world should be? Well, first off, the cost of the pencil and its affordability assumes that everyone should have one and that they should have several. Pencils are available worldwide. The pencil has been a source of literature and art, assuming that people want to create, view, and share pencil art. Individuals and groups use the pencil to complete puzzles, such as Sudoku and crossword puzzles, and it's used in the game of golf to record scores while out on the field. Pencils are used in the furniture and construction industries for marking wood where we want the marks to not be permanent. In fact, it's desirable because, unlike ink, the pencil will not penetrate into the material we're writing on. What does it make possible? Well, first off, it makes it possible to create sketches and drawings for art and communication. Pencils were used in the battlefield to take and to send notes. They work in all kinds of temperatures, cold, hot, different positions, upright, upside down. They even work underwater. Pencils are a favorite of math and mathematical problems that often require reworking and correction of the problem. Not to mention the fact that the pencil then brought about the entire industry of the pencil sharpener. And pencil sharpeners were designed and manufactured to be able to sharpen the pencil that we have. Pencil pouches, pencil holders were added to clothing, book bags, briefcases, desk organizers, and almost any piece of office furniture has some kind of area to store a pencil. What does it make impossible or more difficult? The pencil makes it difficult to conserve raw materials. We're using a lot of wood in these pencils. Many pencils are broken or lost or end up in a waste drawer. And the pencil, even if it's used properly, is slowly destroyed as we sharpen and cut away the wooden outside. Pencils also cut down on the need for pens. The pencil would have been quite a setback to the ink quill market at the time because it was far more convenient and we didn't have to carry the ink and the quill. The pencil took the place of the laptop chalkboard in early classrooms where math and writing practice would have been done. If we didn't have the pencil, we would need to overcome the need for an affordable, erasable, some type of writing equipment or writing utensil. What new forms of culture are created by the pencil? The pencil was used to create art as well as literature. Henry Thoreau's family had a pencil making shop in their home. Those pencils were used by Thoreau to create his now classical literature. For decades, crossword puzzles and Sudoku puzzles, as we mentioned, were used. Early pencils were used to create engineering drawings, the original drawings that are used to generate blueprints and white prints. Eraser caps were a product that was designed for the pencil. When we use the eraser on the pencil faster than the wooden pencil itself, we can replace it with an eraser cap. The infamous number 2 pencil is the favorite for standardized test answer sheets. And the printed pencil, where we put our company name and logo on it, has been used for advertisement. The pencil itself has even inspired literature and research about itself. I read a study on the economics of the pencil and how important it is economically. And there's even an old Middle Eastern proverb, or parable, I should say, that was revised about the pencil to give a Christian message. The pencil, as a cultural artifact, is a great example of an artifact that is really a neutral item until it is in the hands of the individual. At this point, I would like to paraphrase writer Edward Bulwer Lytton. The pencil is mightier than the sword. Even with all of the new digital technology, I believe we will see the pencil remain a part of our culture for many years to come.